Hello, my name is Felicia Fashate, and I'm so glad to be back again on another episode of Truth Unmasked. 3 John 2 says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers, which means that God is as much interested in our spiritual well being and health as He is in our physical well being and health. And so it's important that the same attention we pay to our spiritual well-being, we also pay to our physical well-being also. It's so interesting when I see people invest so much energy into replaceable things, into vehicles, into gadgets, into clothes, into jewelry, into accessories. All of these things are replaceable. You can always get new cars, you can get new clothes, you can get new jewelry, you can get new accessories, you can get new gadgets for your home. But what happens to this body if you lose it? It's irreplaceable. And it's so important that you invest enough energy into this body so it can function to the maximum capacity that God has designed for it to function for us. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not a medical practitioner. These are my own truths. These are things that have worked for me over a decade. These are truths that I've shared with family and friends and has also worked for them. These are basic truths that we know, and some of it are my own understanding and my own derivative from the basic truth that we all know. My own interpretation that has worked for me and worked for family and friends, and I'm hoping it to also work for you. When we were in elementary school, we were told that our food had about 7 nutrients in them: protein, carbohydrates, fats and oil, vitamins, minerals, water, and all of that. And each of these nutrients had the function they did in the body. And I would like to go through some of these nutrients. But today, I'll just like to talk about the carbohydrates alone. We were told that carbohydrates are energy giving food. And we're also told that energy is the ability to do work. And so what it simply means is that carbohydrates are food that give us the ability to do work, which means that carbohydrates are meant to help us with our physical daily activities. When we were much younger, we needed so much energy because we were always on the move. You see the way kids are so restless. You can't keep them still for long. In school, they're on the playground running about. At home, they're running about. Even when you keep them in a confined environment, they still find something to invest their energy into. But then as we get older, we transition from that energetic lifestyle to a sedentary lifestyle. You're going to work, you are in the car. You get to work, you're on your chair. You're coming home from work, you're in the car. You get home, you're seated. You need to change the television station, you have a remote. And even most of the work we do around the house that we needed to invest energy into are taken over by technology now. Technology has so much helped us to save energy in the use of so many equipment and gadgets and motorized equipment that really help us take care of a lot of things that we could have invested our energy into before. And so we require less energy now. And if we require less energy, it means that we also require less carbs in our system. Because when we take more carbs than we need, these carbs are converted to glucose and then stored as fats. And then that's why you see a lot of times as people begin to age, they begin to come down with these so-called old age diseases. Now they're called old age diseases because they begin to show up at a particular age. And what happens is that because we don't switch our food proportion to our current energy level and our current lifestyle, those nutrients that were supposed to help us function properly begin to negate the function they're meant to do in our body. For example, look at the carbohydrates we're talking about. When we were much younger, we needed all of those carbohydrates to function because we had so much energy in us and we were involved in a lot of energetic activities. But then as we got older, the same carbohydrates that helped us stay strong, helped us stay healthy, helped us with all the physical activity we needed to do, the same carbohydrate gets converted to glucose in our body and begin to show up as diabetes and some other sicknesses because we don't need it anymore. And so what do we need to do? We need to cut down on those food to match with our current lifestyle and energy needs. And because we need less energy to function now, we need less energy giving food. And we need to cut down on our carbohydrate intake. Like cut it down to as much as a 30% or a 35%, depending on the nature of the work you do. Like, you know, the kind of energy you use, you know, the nature of the work you do, and you know how much of your carb you need to cut down. But definitely, you don't need as much carb as a little child who runs and jumps and goes on the slides and goes on the swings and is always running and climbing the chairs and climbing the tables. You don't need so much energy to function. You need less of that energy to function. And also, in addition to that, apart from cutting down on your carbohydrates, you also have to consider when you eat those carbohydrates also. Carbohydrates are best for breakfast or for lunch and not for dinner. And that's because most of the energy we exhaust, we do in the morning and in the afternoon. By the time we are eating dinner, it's time for bed. And we do so little thing before we go to bed. And have you realized that no matter how full you are the night before, no matter how much you eat the night before, you always wake up hungry? And that's because your body won't keep those energy till the next day. The moment you're done for the day, it's going to convert to glucose and then to fat. And then you wake up in the morning needing a new set of food. And so it's important that you make sure that you take your carbs in the morning and the afternoon. So you've exhausted most of those energy before it's time for you to go to bed in the night. Because whichever way you do it, you're going to wake up and you need a new set of food to give to that body. And then another thing again I want to say that, have you realized that most middle-aged people have belly fat? Yes, I hear women say that is after pregnancy, the belly didn't go back to its previous state before pregnancy and all of that. Well, to be fair enough, I could take that to be a little bit of a truth. But then when I see men have belly fat, I'm like, okay, so now where do the men get their belly fat from? They don't have wombs and they don't have babies. So it means that there's a thread that cuts across both men and women when it comes to belly fat. And then it has nothing to do with size. I've seen very, very slim people have belly fat. I've seen big people with belly fat. So belly fat has nothing to do with gender or size. It's just the fact that we need to readjust our food intake to ensure that it meets our current lifestyle. And that way our body is able to use up what we give to it and not have excess to keep. Because as we age, our excess carbs that are converted into fat are stored in the mid region. As we age, these fats are not stored in a proportionate way in our body. Most of it goes to the mid region, and that's why we see lots of middle-aged people having belly fat. And the major way to combat this belly fat, or most of these excess body weight, or most of these old age diseases and sicknesses that begin to come down with, is to readjust our food intake. And so let's start our carbohydrates. Let's begin to cut down our carbohydrates. I want to talk about carbohydrates. For me, I say carbohydrate is any white food. It's not 100% accurate, but it's 95% accurate. White food, rice, pasta, bread, pastries, they are all white foods and they are all carbohydrate dense food. So cut down your white foods to the barest minimum. You don't need so much of it. You need to reduce it because you don't need so much energy to function. And yes, cut down your carbohydrates and try to take it as breakfast or lunch. Avoid taking carbohydrates for your dinner and watch your body begin to appreciate you and thank you for that change. Thank you. And next, I will be talking about protein because in school we're told that protein are body building food. We're told that every single cell in our body contains protein. Our hair, our skin, our bones, our muscles, our tissues, they all contain protein, and that protein are like the life of the body, and that we need to take in protein to repair and to replace our cells. So the next episode, I would like to talk about protein and how we can use these proteins to help our body function properly and help us slow down the aging process. I hope you take this fact to use. And like I said, the basic word is discipline. Your body will repel. Your body wants to act against your decision to cut down on these things. Your body will ask for more of what it doesn't need, but it's up to you to give to your body what it needs as opposed to what it requests from you. It's your body. You are in charge. You are in control. You have a sane mind and a sound mind, and you know what is best for this body, and that's what to give to it. Thank you. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.